Hi, Kelly Eckholt here to update you with the key events of the week. So last week I was down in Canterbury talking to customers about the economic outlook. Customers down there indicated that they're pretty grumpy about the level of interest rates and are looking forward to an interest rate cut at some stage. Customers indicated that employment growth is certainly weakening, and that reflects the fact that demand is pretty weak down there, and also they're anticipating that wages growth for the year ahead should be a lot slower than what it was in the last year. Cost pressures remain pretty intense, and that's a problem because it's becoming increasingly difficult for customers to pass those costs through. That means that profitability is under a fair amount of pressure. Having said that, customers recognise that inflation was going to take a good while to come off, hence they're not really anticipating interest rate cuts until later this year at the earliest. The other news that we got last week is there was a dairy price auction which was much better supported than it had been for the last month or so. Whole milk prices went up 3.4%, and that really helps balance some of those downside risks that might have been building for our $7.90 milk price forecast for the current season. Looking ahead, the big event for next week is the Reserve Bank's monetary policy review. We don't think the Reserve Bank stance will have shifted very much from what they told us back in February, and we expect them to issue a relatively short statement saying exactly that. The reality is that even though the economy has been pretty weak, inflation pressures remain at least as intense as anticipated, if only because of things like higher oil prices and a weaker exchange rate are really slowing the fall in inflation. We think the Reserve Bank will know more in May after they've seen the first quarter CPI and labour market data and be in much better position to chart out the path for interest rates over the balance of the year and into next. I'll be back to update you again next week.